something you worked on really hard didn't work.
Yeah.
Something you feel like you said something embarrassing today. You did something that didn't sit right with you.
Are we about to witness the impossible? One of Hollywood's most beloved superstars, whose name practically personifies an entire Marvel franchise, potentially cut loose from the very cinematic universe he helped energize. It sounds unthinkable, especially if you've watched Ryan Reynolds transform Deadpool into a pop culture phenomenon. But the internet is clamoring with rumors that Disney and Marvel might be doing exactly that. All at once, the whirlwind of speculation has locked Ryan Reynolds, his wife Blake Lively, and director-actor Justin Baldoni into a tangled web of lawsuits, leaked allegations, and behind-the-scenes politics that have fans reeling. What exactly is going on? The spark that set everything ablaze started with a series of explosive claims about off-screen misconduct and meddling in the upcoming film adaptation of It Ends With Us. At first, these rumors only hinted at conflict, perhaps just the usual creative disagreements or scheduling hiccups we've all heard about a million times. Then came the more unsettling chatter that Ryan was feeding a nasty feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, launching a quiet smear campaign, and even carrying that feud onto Marvel's precious Deadpool set. Now, as Marvel scrambles to contain the fallout, the entire internet is asking the same question. Did Disney and Marvel just fire Ryan Reynolds? Stay tuned, because things are only going to get more complicated from here. You might have seen the first hints of trouble pop up on social media. Fans noticed something off in the timeline. Ryan was going full steam on promoting Deadpool 3, a project that also brought Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back into the fold. Under normal circumstances, that alone would dominate the conversation. But simultaneously, Blake Lively began talking about her starring role in the It Ends With Us adaptation, a romantic drama that ironically deals with deep, painful topics including domestic conflict. The industry hype surrounding It Ends With Us was huge, especially with Justin Baldoni set to direct. At the outset, these two events seemed unrelated. Ryan was poised to break the box office again with his signature brand of irreverent humor, while Blake was taking on an emotional role in a film that had a passionate literary fan base. Then, fans noticed tension brewing under the surface. Rumors emerged that Blake was in a bitter legal battle with Baldoni over creative differences, alleged misconduct, and control of the final film. Normally, that would be enough drama on its own, but insiders began dropping bigger bombshells. Ryan Reynolds himself was reportedly stepping in, using his clout and connections to back his wife in a scorched earth quest to rid the production of Baldoni. The rumor mill only spun faster from there, especially when some fans pointed out subtle barbs in Deadpool 3 promotional material that felt suspiciously aimed at Baldoni. Were these digs real? Or were fans just reading too much into ambiguous humor? Meanwhile, Marvel watchers started connecting dots. More than a few people recalled Marvel's strict approach to negative publicity, like how quickly they distanced themselves from other actors entangled in controversy. Might they be considering the same with Ryan? At first, nobody wanted to believe it. Ryan is practically the face of Deadpool, a cash cow for Marvel, and a comedic talent that's almost single-handedly expanded the MCU's range. But the rumor took on new life when attorneys representing Baldoni hinted that Disney had taken decisive action regarding Ryan. In the world of pop culture gossip, that was the equivalent of tossing a lit match into a fireworks factory. Suddenly, fans were in full-blown meltdown mode. To understand why Marvel might even consider dropping a star as bankable as Ryan Reynolds, we have to look at an old fault line: the tension between Deadpool's R-rated, edgy style and the family-friendly veneer of Disney. After Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, everyone wondered how a rowdy antihero like Deadpool could possibly fit into the sanitized environment that Marvel had carefully curated. For a while, the synergy worked. Marvel executives stressed that they wouldn't tone down Deadpool's comedic grit too much, provided it served the narrative and didn't alienate core fans. Beneath the surface, though, sources claim there was an ongoing tug-of-war. Ryan is known for pushing boundaries, both as an actor and as a behind-the-scenes idea generator. His comedic jabs and relentless marketing stunts helped Deadpool rake in massive profits, but sometimes made Disney executives nervous about brand optics. While they mostly allowed him to run wild, they also expected him to keep real-life controversies far away from the Marvel name. No one predicted that a side controversy, involving the sensitive filming of It Ends With Us, could become the wedge that might break this tenuous balance. And it's not just Disney. Some fans recall that Marvel has dropped or sidelined big names before once problems arose. It happened with directors, it happened with actors. The Marvel machine prioritizes corporate stability above all else. So if Ryan truly caused public relations mayhem and threatened to drag Disney into legal battles, it wouldn't matter how beloved he is. The higher-ups might decide to cut losses before they spiral. Justin Baldoni built a reputation as a champion of positive storytelling, especially for women, while advocating for an evolved view of masculinity. When he was tapped to direct and star in the adaptation of Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us, fans were over the moon. He had the sensitivity, the insight, and the brand alignment to bring such a complex story to life. Blake Lively, beloved for her wit and Golden Girl aura, was cast as the lead. Initially, it seemed like a match made in Hollywood heaven, but soon after filming began, rumblings of friction emerged. Blake allegedly complained that Baldoni didn't provide the creative environment she needed. Certain rumors suggested he questioned her approach to the role, though it was never clear whether those concerns came from a directorial standpoint or from personal differences. Then, an avalanche of allegations came out. There were claims of impropriety on set, talk of unprofessional conduct, and rumors of behind-the-scenes intimidation. Exactly who was responsible? No one could say for certain, because every official party stayed tight-lipped. That all changed when Blake filed a lawsuit that sounded more like a scorched earth mission than a typical Hollywood dispute. She accused Baldoni of manipulation, questionable on-set behavior, and even instances of psychological intimidation. To outside observers, the suit seemed oddly vague, packed with insinuation but short on documented proof. Baldoni's legal team, led by Brian Friedman, responded just as forcefully, suggesting that Blake's claims were either exaggerated or demonstrably false. They implied that a bigger force might be pulling the strings behind her. The big question was, who would benefit from painting Baldoni as a monster? All eyes turned to Ryan Reynolds. Known for his comedic brilliance, Ryan also co-owns production companies and wields significant power in the industry. He's the kind of star who can make or break a project simply by attaching his name to it. Insiders began whispering that Ryan was more than just a supportive spouse. He was allegedly instrumental in shaping the narrative against Baldoni, using his extensive network of media contacts and Hollywood allies to tilt the scales in Blake's favor. No official documents confirmed Ryan's direct involvement, at least not at first. But Friedman's team teased that major receipts would surface, pointing to communications and backroom deals indicating Ryan had threatened agencies and producers who represented Baldoni. By then, public perception was already shifting. A wave of fans who had long adored Ryan's breezy, good guy persona found themselves second-guessing. Could the real Ryan be more ruthless and image-obsessed than we ever imagined? If these hints of manipulation were true, the stakes for Marvel became enormous. Ryan potentially using his Marvel stardom to broadcast personal grudges could reflect poorly on Disney. And if Friedman made good on his promise to reveal damning communications, it might entangle Marvel in a scandal they'd do anything to avoid. Then came the so-called evidence hidden in plain sight, a rumor that Ryan had allegedly inserted mocking references to Baldoni in Deadpool 3. By nature, Deadpool thrives on meta-humor and jabs at pop culture. But fans who followed the unfolding lawsuit started noticing peculiar nods to Baldoni's personality in new promotional materials and rumored script leaks. One alleged cameo by a man-bun-wearing, self-righteous do-gooder had Twitter lighting up with speculation. Was that a parody of Baldoni? Supporters of Ryan claimed it was all hype and hearsay. But Friedman's legal team doubled down, suggesting that the comedic roasts in Deadpool 3 weren't just random gags. They were pointed attacks aimed at humiliating Baldoni on a global stage. Friedman even demanded that Disney and Marvel preserve every relevant piece of documentation about this man-bun variant, or any other character who suspiciously resembled Baldoni in mannerisms. Suddenly, a comedic bit might become evidence in a major lawsuit. Marvel's leadership, known for meticulously crafting family-friendly blockbusters, was likely mortified. After all, Deadpool is already their loosest canon, and it took years of negotiations to ensure he could remain R-rated under Disney's watch. Now, rumors swirled that Ryan might have weaponized his creative license to enact real-life revenge, effectively dragging the studio into personal legal drama. Many fans argued that if Friedman's claims held any weight, Marvel would have to act to preserve their reputation. If not, they risked turning Deadpool from an asset into a public relations nightmare. As if the rumors and alleged character parodies weren't enough, Ryan raised eyebrows by promoting It Ends With Us content, something he had no contractual obligation to do. He popped up in a tongue-in-cheek skit referencing the film, bringing his typical comedic flair, but in a way that struck some viewers as tone-deaf. The story behind It Ends With Us deals with serious subject matter, and cynics couldn't help but question Ryan's motive. Why inject humor into a promotional piece for such a heavy storyline, especially one overshadowed by a massive lawsuit? The skit triggered a second wave of online uproar. Critics accused Ryan of trivializing genuine allegations, turning them into clickbait comedy. Others pointed out the bizarre cameo of Ryan's mom in the clip, which seemed random at best and borderline insensitive at worst. Whether it was a well-intentioned attempt at levity or a subtle troll job against Baldoni remains unclear. But the reaction was immediate and hostile enough to spark an even bigger debate about Ryan's image. Adding yet another layer, Friedman alleged that Ryan was venting personal frustrations in comedic form, a pattern that had already emerged with the rumored scenes in Deadpool 3. For Friedman, the parallels were impossible to ignore. He labeled it a targeted humiliation campaign, insisting that Ryan's real persona was less Mr. Nice Guy and more Hollywood bully. It was difficult for many fans to reconcile that with the Ryan they knew from talk show charm and philanthropic gestures. But as Friedman hammered away, public sentiment started shifting. So here we stand. Ryan's once untouchable reputation is teetering on the edge, overshadowed by allegations of behind-the-scenes vengeance. Marvel, arguably the most powerful entity in modern Hollywood, may be forced to make a critical decision: keep Ryan, or quietly dismiss him and salvage their brand. Deadpool's comedic style might draw big box office numbers, but controversies that risk dragging the studio into legal skirmishes are a different story. Officially, the rumors of Ryan's firing remain unconfirmed. That hasn't stopped fans from pointing out potential red flags. Some say that Marvel's corporate synergy machine, which typically features Ryan front and center in promotional campaigns, has dialed down references to him. Others note that his previously unstoppable social media presence about Deadpool has suddenly gone quiet, fueling more speculation that Marvel might be nudging him aside. Then there's the endless swirl of insider gossip claiming that Ryan has been frantically reaching out to Marvel executives to smooth things over, while Friedman readies a stack of unflattering receipts. Meanwhile, fans and commentators wonder what Hugh Jackman thinks of all this, Ryan's comedic partner in crime on Deadpool 3, and a figure who always seems more measured and diplomatic. If Ryan truly steps out, could Hugh fill a void, or would the entire Deadpool franchise collapse? Another question: does this fiasco overshadow the release of It Ends With Us to the point that the film's future success is jeopardized? Moviegoers who would normally flock to a drama starring Blake Lively might now watch only to dissect behind-the-scenes gossip. In some corners, the speculation has reached near conspiracy theory levels, with people insisting that the entire drama is a publicity stunt orchestrated to generate maximum awareness for two big titles. Yet that seems unlikely, given how damaging these accusations could be for all parties involved. Public stunts rarely involve real lawsuits that threaten to derail a star's career. No matter which angle you take, the narrative has become almost too big to contain. Ryan Reynolds, the wisecracking, fourth wall smashing icon, finds himself at the center of a scandal that could rewrite his Hollywood future. Marvel's cautious silence only magnifies the uncertainty, prompting thousands of fans to ask if we're about to lose an actor whose irreverent take on Deadpool helped redefine what a superhero film could look like. The tension between comedic brilliance and real-world consequences has never felt so stark. For some, Ryan is being unfairly targeted by opportunistic individuals who see him as an easy way to cause a media frenzy. For others, these controversies may be a sign that power, fame, and vanity are overshadowing the optimism we've come to expect from our favorite celebrities. And for Marvel, the stakes are monumental. A single misstep could taint the brand they've spent over a decade perfecting, especially if a legal fiasco continues to gain traction. So, is this entire saga a fleeting tempest in a teapot, or a genuine turning point in how Hollywood stars leverage their influence behind the scenes? Could Ryan Reynolds genuinely be on the chopping block at Marvel? Yet another example of the studio's willingness to drop even its brightest stars in the face of controversy? Until official announcements confirm or deny the rumors, the question looms: is Ryan truly irreplaceable in the MCU? Or has he finally crossed a line that even Marvel can't ignore? You'll have to keep your eyes and ears open, because the story is still evolving, and with these many high-power players at odds, it might take just one more startling revelation to topple everything. One thing's certain: whether Ryan remains Deadpool or not, this Hollywood scandal has left fans unsettled and it's a saga that won't be forgotten anytime soon.